something else that was of importance.
Not really.
Do you want to do our prospect list now?
You know what? Let's do it. We're going to get flamed regardless. Let's just get into it right now.
All right, so should we start off with the criteria for this?
Yeah.
It was 25 games
25
or less.
games. If you play more than 25 games, you're not on the list. So guys like Simone Edvinsson are not
That's
on
the biggest name that I think is not going to be on this list that we might get flack for. But Edvinsson, I think, played like 26, 27 games this past year.
And if you're over 25, you're not on the list. If you're over 25, you're not a prospect anymore. It's been 7 years. Let it go.
I also want to say if Edvinsson was on this list, he would be like...
He'd be high. He'd be pretty high on the list.
He would be very high on the list. I just want to preface that for Red Wings fans who may not be... who may be mad at us.
Start roasting us, yeah.
Yeah. Honorable mentions. LeBlanc, you want to mention some of them here?
I had them written down, and I've lost the paper. I will not lie to you.
Easton Cowan, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh,
Dalibor Dvorsky.
Beckett Seneca.
Yeah, Seneca. Hellenius.
Carter Yakimchuk.
Lane Hudson.
And that's probably going to rub some Habs fans the wrong way.
Way to go. Wild card Sens fan here. If you know, you know.
I think Lane Hudson's a great prospect. I just don't think he is a top 25 prospect in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't particularly think he's top 25 either. All right, let's get into it here. So, number 25. Who's 25, LeBlanc?
We got Zane Perrick from the Calgary Flames, currently playing for Saginaw. Zane Perrick is what I call a forward that plays defense.
He was the best offensive defenseman of the draft.
Yeah.
I think he was in the OHL.
With Saginaw, yeah.
So he was the best defenseman, he was the best offensive defenseman in the OHL. I think this guy's going to be a stud. I don't see the insane hype around him.
I've seen. Oh my God, he's the next Cale McCarley. Let's take it down now.
He's also not the best defenseman in the draft. Like I'm pretty sure we have Dickinson, Buyam, Levshinov, and a lot of other defensemen ranked above.
Spoil the list.
Sorry, I'm just saying they are on this list and they are above Perrick.
Yeah, I don't have him as the best defenseman in the draft. I don't have him as the best defenseman.
I think he's good.
Obviously,
I'm not saying that he's not good.
He's going to be good. Yeah. Oh, another honorable mention we forgot to mention is Rutger McGroarty.
Yes, that's another guy. We actually changed him last second for Brad Lambert of the Winnipeg Jets, who is number 24 on our list. LeBlanc, where does Lambert play these days? Is he in Manitoba with the Moose?
He's with the Moose right now.
Okay. So I think Lambert, probably the best prospect on the Winnipeg Jets, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. I think he's terrific. I think he's actually, honestly, if we made an underrated list of prospects, he's probably
on
top 10 on that list for sure. I think that he is a star-studded forward who will do good things for the Jets for sure. Number 23, who is on 23 on our list here?
Anton Silyev, or Silayev, however you say his name.
Silayev. For the New Jersey Devils, this is the 6'7" guy who was drafted 10th overall this past year. He is a god defensively, and the man is also tall as hell, as I said. Not as tall as that 6'11" guy from Penn State, but he is tall. Thoughts on Silyev?
I think you put it out there. Defensively, he's him defensively.
Yes.
I think he can establish an offensive game that will translate to the NHL level. I feel like he has the highest ceiling, one of the highest ceilings of any of the defensive prospects.
Absolutely.
And his skating, though, for a guy that big, is insane. He's a really good skater.
You watch the highlights. He played in the KHL this whole year, didn't he? That's... And we talk about Michkov and Demidov, them playing in the juniors and Michkov getting loaned to places. No, Silyev played in the KHL the entire year. So I think that speaks volume of how good of a defenseman this guy's going to be when he gets to the NHL. Number 22. We got another, underrated guy here on this list. Who is it, Mr. James?
Jimmy Snuggerud. I don't know how to say these names. From the Blues.
From St. Louis. He played in the Minnesota Big Ten.
I
think Snuggerud
Minnesota Big Ten?
Or Minnesota Gophers in the Big Ten. My apologies. It's been a long day. I think Snuggerud might be the most underrated prospect
There's a
on this
guy up
list.
there who I think is more underrated, but we'll get to that after.
All right. Well, yeah. It says Snuggerud may be the closest to being NHL ready amongst the Blues prospect pool. He's a sharpshooter who falls into the mold of what St. Louis had with Vladimir Tarasenko. So he is going to be exciting. Number 21 is Jonathan Lecker-Mackey of the Vancouver Canucks. I think again this is another underrated prospect that people really I don't know. I don't know if it's people haven't talked about him or it's because he really hasn't. Like obviously it's been a while since he's been drafted.
I was really high on him coming out of the draft. I feel like he played a similar game to Tim Stützle. I find like they're
yeah. I think he's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I think that he also is playing in the Swedish leagues against pros, so I think that also adds a factor in there. Or is he? I'm not 100% sure actually. I probably shouldn't speak on something that I don't know.
He's a grown man.
He's an old boy, obviously. All right, let me look that up. Well, Block, go to number 20 here real quick.
20 is they broke my heart. They broke my heart. It's TJ Ginla. I don't want to say
TJ Ginla from the Utah Hockey Club. This guy really rose in draft rankings this past year. He wasn't expected to go. Well, I guess you could have ranked him that high, but he wasn't like at the beginning of the season. He wasn't like expected to be
a late first at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So, just to follow back here on Lecker-Mackey, he did play in the SHL. He also went to the American Hockey League for a little bit, and he did play internationally in the World Juniors and had 15 points in 12 games. So, hell of a player. But Iginla, obviously, I think, has a lot of potential, and I think playing on a very young Utah team in the future could make him really exciting. Number 19.
They got another guy, Berkeley Cadden from the Seattle Kraken.
Very undersized. That's the biggest thing you look at when you see Ken. He's a little bit of a small guy. I think that he honestly is a very exciting prospect. He did really good on a very bad
Spokane team.
Yeah, a bad Spokane team. So I think that speaks volume for what Berkeley Catton's going to be. Number 18, LeBlanc is not as high on this guy. I had to talk him into putting him on this list.
I think he's underrated. That's the guy I was referring to. I think he's a little underrated. People don't really talk about him in specs, but the point totals are there. It's Joakim Kemmel from Nashville.
From the Nashville Predators.
He fell in the draft year. Like, he really fell.
He dropped to 17th overall in 2022. He probably would have. Wait, was he?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Got the top 10 pick.
Yes. So he fell a lot in his rankings. The fact that he fell to Nashville was honestly kind of a steal. He put up great numbers in Milwaukee in their run to the conference finals this past year in the AHL. I think Kemmel's very underrated. I think that he's going to be a superstar. Maybe he's not. Maybe you could put him a little bit lower, but I'm very high on Kemmel. Number 17 from the Buffalo Sabres, we got Yuri Kulich. Again, another guy that I think that is probably the best prospect in Buffalo's pool, besides Hellenius. Actually, no, Hellenius is ranked lower than him, so obviously he's better. That's a dumb take by me. Kulich roared out of the gates in the AHL, putting up 16 goals in 23 AHL games this past year, showcasing a more mature game in the second best league in North America. I think Kulich is going to be a really good player, and I think that people don't talk about him as much, but definitely, yeah. All right, number 16 is
Axel Sandin Pellikka. From the Detroit
Red Wings. So he's very similar to Seider in a way. He plays on the same team that Seider did. That's just what I mean. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying that he's gonna be Seider. I'm saying that he's following the same path as Seider did. He played on the same team that Seider did in juniors. I think that he is gonna be incredibly exciting to watch down the stretch.
I was gonna say like he plays nothing like Seider, then you I don't.
I meant he's following the same path as Seider. I'm not saying that he's
offensive defenseman. He's pretty good. He's he's a little undersized, but he's good at his craft.
He's gonna fit well with Edmondson. That's gonna be really exciting to watch. Number 15,
Listen,
and this is a guy that might shock some people, him being this high, but number 15 is...
Shane Wright.
Yes, people are not going to like this. This was a guy that he dropped in the draft. He was like a... I remember for years, he was a first overall pick, or he was projected to be.
Yeah.
The guy drops to 4. So, yeah, he really kind of dropped off, and it showed that he was going to take a little bit longer to develop than usual, but in his first 2 years with Coachella Valley, they make the Calder Cup finals in both seasons. I think Wright has terrific potential still, and I think people still underrate him from even the, dropping in the draft. So
Like when he was with Seattle this year, he didn't look terrible. He looked pretty good.
No, he didn't. And I think he's a guy that when we do this next year, he won't be on the list because he came up this past year. I think he played like 8 games and had like 4 goals.
I do want to mention that Dan Bowles was the new coach of Seattle. He was coaching the Firebirds, so exactly. So I think Wright's gonna get a shot with the team.
I think Wright is gonna make the team. He's one of the guys that I'm confident will make this roster, and it makes that rookie race all the more exciting. All right, number 14, we got another guy from this past year's draft.
Caden Lindstrom, Columbus Blue Jackets.
This is an interesting one. LeBlanc, I'm going to let you take the lead in this.
That boy big! Like, he's
one of the bigger forwards. He's like a really
big 6. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". He's exciting. He's a big center.
Yes.
Yeah, like you talk about, the only issue, like he is prone to injury as a lot of bigger centers are, but when he's healthy, he's gonna be your best player on the ice.
Yes, I am 100% on board with that. Number 13, we're almost into the top 10 here, is a guy that I wanted so badly on my team, Sam Dickinson, from the San Jose Sharks. I think that he's going to be a great defenseman. He might be apart from I think maybe like Lev Shanov and a few other guys on this list. That's a spoiler. Dickinson might be one of if not the most NHL ready defenseman.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably going to get a shot with the San Jose Sharks this year.
I don't necessarily think that.
I don't think it's the right move, but he can be ready. That's how.
Yes, he looked great with London.
He looked
with London. Him and Oliver Bonk were just terrific to watch. Who is not on this list, by the way, but I love Bonk. Honorable mention to Bonk because I just love Bonk. Ottawa native Oliver Bonk.
Yeah.
Number 12, we got a Rangers prospect here now.
I wanted this guy higher, but we came to a consensus on number 12. It is Gabe Perreault.
Yeah, I like Perreault a lot. I think Perreault, I don't know. Like, I think Perreault definitely, he dropped past a lot of teams. He dropped to 23rd in 2023. He is a steal at 23 overall. He was a guy that should have gone way higher. I think that he's going to be really exciting for the Rangers. I'm not sure when he will come to the team, though. I'm expecting maybe next season or the following year. It says that he is the top offensive force amongst blue shirt prospect. His father also came in at 5'11", but Yannick was 185 pounds and played 14 NHL seasons. The younger Perreault has tremendous hockey IQ and skill. He is a little bit undersized, though. That's the biggest thing that you do have to keep in mind with Perreault. All right, number 11. LeBlanc, who is it?
Zeev Buium.
Of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, that's one I think that's going to also get us a lot into trouble, because I feel like Zeev Buium, everywhere I've seen, is in the top 10 of prospects. I like Zeev Buium, but I think he's getting a little bit glazed.
I love Buium. Buium, I wanted Buium so bad. And we had to witness this in our draft when Philly, when Buium was available, traded their pick to Minnesota. And I remember LeBlanc's words, "Briere's on the phone!" And I'm just like, no, get off the phone now! Yeah, so Buium, I think it's going to be very exciting. Is there a little bit of glaze behind him? Sure, but I think that he is definitely... I think you could argue him in the top 10.
You can argue him for sure. Just for that was the most yelling stream we've ever had.
Yeah, I have done drafts. I have done the last 5 drafts. I've live streamed the last 5. That was the craziest one we've done.
Yeah.
Except for maybe 2023, like the picks like 4 to 7 were pretty insane. Number 10, moving into the top 10 here. We got another defenseman from this past year's draft. I think it's the final. Oh, never mind. No, it's not. It's not the final player from this past year's draft. It is.
It's Artem Levshinov.
Yes, it is. From the Chicago Blackhawks. Levshinov, the best defenseman from that draft class. I think he is the 4th or 5th best defenseman ranked on that list.
I'm just going to count them. 1, 2. Yeah, we have two defensemen above him.
Okay, so he is the third best defenseman on this list. Levshinov brings a lot of great assets to his game. Is he coming to the NHL right away?
He signed his ELC, so he's not going back to state. So
okay,
so he might get a chance with the big club. Honestly, they probably need it. Like
they probably do give him a chance. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That decor on Chicago is brutal.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if he earns that spot. He could see himself down with Rockford. Number 9, we got a Washington Capitals prospect here.
Ryan.
I think he's actually a little bit underrated. It's Ryan Leonard. From the Washington Capitals. I'm excited to see this guy play.
He's mean.
He is. There were talks that he might come over to the Capitals, but he's actually staying with. Where does he play?
I think he plays in BC. I think. I'm not 100% on that though.
I think he's BC, or he's one of the Boston colleges. But Leonard, he said in a thing, or he said in like a conference or something, that he wanted to play for the Capitals, but after that loss that he suffered in college, he couldn't just leave the guys like that. So he's going to play one more year in college, and then he's going to come to the Washington Capitals, I would assume. So Leonard, we probably will see a little bit of him at the end of next season.
Yeah, he plays,
but. Okay, so we may see a little bit of him at the end of next season, but Leonard, I think, is very exciting. Number 8 on this list is
Cutter Gauthier.
Cutter Gauthier of the Anaheim Ducks,
formerly of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Don't remind me. So Cutter, I think, I could say a lot of things that I don't like Cutter, and I'm not gonna say that. I think Cutter is a terrific prospect. There were points where he was ranked the 2nd best prospect in the world. I do think that there are a lot of guys that have fallen off, or I think there are a lot of guys that have gotten better since Cutter. He's kind of fallen off a little bit in his rankings, but I still think he's going to be a terrific player. And he will play for the Ducks this coming year.
Yes.
Because he did get time this past year. He played one game, but I think he will be on the team next season.
Now, Evan, I'm going to ask you this real quick. If you get tickets to the Ducks-Flyers game...
It's happening. It's happening.
Are you going to boo?
I am going to boo that guy to hell. Listen, I will come on here and praise Cutter. I will say good things about Cutter as a player, but when it comes to the point where you're going into that Philly arena and you see a guy who left your team who was projected to be one, like him and Mitchkov would have been a dream. It would have been such a dream, and now I can only do it in franchise mode. But if that guy comes in there, and I'm gonna boo him. Like, it's just in Philly culture. I'm gonna boo him. I don't hate him to the degree that a lot of Flyers fans do, because part of me does wish that we kept him. But obviously, I'm gonna boo him.
Okay.
Number 7 here on the list is Logan Stankoven from the Dallas Stars.
Yeah,
I think he just barely got into our criteria.
Yeah,
I think
he played 24 games, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes, so he barely
He will not
here.
be on the list next year, for sure.
No, absolutely not. So I would say him and Cutter won't be. Stankoven was exciting this past year for Dallas. Even in the playoffs, he looked good too, because he did play some playoff games. I think that he's going to be special. He's going to be a really special player. And we didn't put him into the honorable mentions, but shout out to Maverick Bourque as well. I don't think he's a 25 prospect. He might not be a 30 guy either, but I definitely think he's still.
There's so many good prospects. Like it's so hard to make. Like
yeah, we could do like a top 30. We'll probably even separately. Like I know I'm gonna make my own. LeBlanc's made his own before. So I think that it's a fun thing to do, and I love Stankoven. So. Yeah. Number 6 is, as you said, Dylan's favorite defenseman.
And Nepean native Brant Clark.
Yeah, so I think, didn't Brant Clark get some time this year?
Brant Clark played about, I think it was 10 games.
Let me take a look at that real
Because I
quick.
know he had a game winner in Boston, an overtime winner in Boston this year.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, I think that he's kind of been a little bit forgotten because he took a little bit longer to get to the NHL, and like a lot of guys from his draft class. Like I think when you look at the class year overall, there's a lot of guys who are not from 2021. Like I think the oldest one in here might honestly be Brant Clark. Like I'm looking at a lot of these guys. I think a lot of these guys.
Isn't Cutter 21?
Cutter's 22.
Okay.
I think yeah. Clark played 60. Oh, Clark played exactly 25 games, so he barely scrapes into this list. So Brant Clark at number 6, great defenseman. I think that he is going to be spectacular with the Kings in a full year. He is another guy that will not be on this list next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays his first game, he's gone. Number 4 on this list, or number 5. Number 5. Sorry. Top 5 here. It is from the San Jose Sharks. It is Will Smith.
Yes.
And not the guy who slapped Chris Rock. I think that he is going to be great. This is when you get into the best of the best, the really exciting guys. I am a huge fan of Will Smith. I don't know where you stand on that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Fresh Prince too, and
Oh
Will Smith's got the intangibles. He's gonna be great. Like I can't really like he's an all around guy, all around player.
Yeah.
And there's not a world where I see, and I will make this claim right now, as a little LeBlanc guarantee, where he's not gonna be a top 6 player in the NHL.
Exactly. I am there for that. I think all these guys will be top players in the NHL when they get there. Number 4. All right, this is where we're gonna get a lot of comments, more specifically from LeBlanc. Just say it.
Ivan Demidov, Montreal Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens, yes.
If you're throwing your phone, banging on the wall, take it on Twitter. I don't want to deal with it right now.
If you're driving in a car listening to this, please
pull over.
Stop driving. Pull over. Okay. Yes, Demidov. I'll let LeBlanc go first. What are your thoughts?
Ivan Demidov is a special player. He's gonna be. I think he's gonna be over in Russia next year. He should get KHL time next year. He should. Yeah.
If he doesn't make the team, there's a decent chance he might come.
Demidov's going to be a great player for the Habs. He's not the piece they're missing. Like he's not like this generational talent, but he's going to be an elite player. He's going to be an 80 to 95 point guy in his prime. I don't have much bad things to say about Demidov. It's a great pick by the Habs, but there's 3 players that I think are going to be better than him.
You could argue Demidov a little bit higher. You could argue him at 3. When we say our guys at 3, and people are going to think that I took part in this list because I am a Philadelphia Flyers fan. It's been the Michkov-Demidov debate. I am just so sick of talking about it. I had Habs fans tag me on Twitter today about things about a Flyers fan saying that Demidov's better than Michkov. I just don't care anymore. Like literally, like it's an argument. And again, Michkov is higher on this list. Ooh, big spoiler. But like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the argument that you can make that Demidov's better than Michkov. Oh, he's better defensively. It's better this, better that. Demidov played against kids, and Michkov played against adults. And the argument that you say that Kotkaniemi's better than McDavid, and the one Habs fan that tweeted that at me, that's literally the stupidest argument you could ever make.
Well, because I'm not gonna say it on here, but yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. Number 3 is
Alexander Nikishin, Carolina Hurricanes defenseman.
Yeah, defenseman. He also played in the KHL this past year. I think he's honestly really underrated. I think that he definitely gets more recognition than he used to.
Yeah, now he gets more recognition.
He's still underrated, in my opinion. I think that he's a great defenseman. He's probably the best defenseman prospect.
Is he coming over this year?
God, we just asked ourselves the same question. I'm not 100% sure. I am going to say no, because I haven't seen any reports that say yes, he will be. Mm-hmm. but he could be. I mean, I don't know. Let me look at this book real quick. This book is funny because it's from the Hockey News. It projects when prospects will be ready for the NHL. It says that he's ready 25-26. I don't know if that's really
not coming over.
Probably not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is. Number 2 from the Philadelphia Flyers, Matvei Michkov.
Yeah.
Michkov is a generational talent.
Borderline generational talent.
Borderline generational talent. I think that he is going to do a ton for the Flyers. He's an amazing player. I'm not getting into the argument here.
Number 1. I'll say it. Shot's insane. Skating's insane. He's quick with it. I think Demidov is good. In the future, Demidov's going to be like a 45-goal scorer.
Mm-hmm. You said Demidov. You mean Michkov?
Michkov. I'm sorry. See, that's how much we're getting this argument. Michkov's going to score 45 in the future. That's not. That's not a LeBlanc guarantee, though. That's.
Yeah, not a LeBlanc James guarantee. Don't go to your gambling site.
Don't be going. Oh, you lost me money, LeBlanc James.
Yeah. Again, I'm just gonna say it really quick. I'm just so tired of talking about the Michkov Demidov argument. Listen, we can argue about it all day. None of these guys have played NHL games. I think that it's pointless to argue about it now. When these guys get into the league,
sure, then we'll have a conversation.
Yeah, we can definitely debate over it. But right now, I think it's kind of just a guessing game. Like, honestly, you can say certain things, but all right. Anywho, number 1, the best prospect in the league goes to
from the San Jose Sharks, Matt Celebrity.
I thought you were going to go a different direction there. Stephen Halliday from the Ottawa Senators. Macklin Celebrini, I think... I've seen people make the argument that Michkov's better. As a Flyers fan, I'm not going to go down that road. I think Celebrini's better. I think Celebrini's better all around. I think if we're talking pure goal scoring, Michkov's better. But, like, obviously Celebrini, I think, is going to be... He's going to be...
Two-way game, insane.
He's going to be probably the next... I don't know if he's the next best two-way player, but he's going to be one of...
He's going to be a good two-way player.
He's going to be a great two-way player. So that is our top 25 prospect list. This will be posted on our Instagram at NordblockPod.
Feel free to yell at us there, because...
Yeah, don't be yelling at us through your phone. It'll be posted on Twitter, too, which I think will get a lot of people going. Are we ready to draft our Metro team?